engage people, to start putting their dollar here or there. You know what I mean? And encourage people to do that. That's a whole nother topic. We'll get to that another day. I want to move on to this, Sandman. Diddy, just continue this topic. Finally, after a whole week, spoke out about Jay-Z, and Diddy put Hov is one of the greatest to ever do it. He has been there more than anybody from hip-hop culture, including me. He always has been so selfless for fights for other people. We, as a people, cannot be divided and conquered at this time. As for Cap, Diddy said he is proud of the QB, adding, I'll continue to support him in every way possible. Sam, I see you over there. You might have the same thoughts that I'm going to have, but I definitely want to defer to you and hear what you think about what Diddy said about Jay-Z.
I'm tired of hearing the fucking capping for Jay-Z. I'm sorry. And the thing is, like, I agree with everything he said, but why didn't you say this last week? And now that we know that information is being withheld, and what I mean by that is there was a very, very in-depth conversation that was had last week, or a week and some change now, and a lot of that wasn't distributed. Why are the people that distributed the content and painted the narrative the way they wanted to and drew the line in the sand the way they knew black people would, why aren't they being called out? Why aren't they like, yo, nah, this isn't what I meant. This is what I meant. I'm going to give Jay-Z a little criticism here in a lot of things that I usually give him credit for in not being vocal. Right? Because he was vocal in there. People gave him criticism. But when you put everything together and what was said, it was a very, very well done interview for Jay-Z. I'm going to put myself out there and say that. But you don't hear anything else. Like, he doesn't feel the need to defend himself in a situation right now where it's like, nah, bro, the NFL, the thing you just signed up for is steering a narrative and it's not in your favor.
Right.
It doesn't make you look good. We're not getting real information. The questions that we're asking now, weeks later, we're seeing that you've already addressed all the questions that we've kind of asked outside of the fuck the halftime show is going to do. Outside of that, we got the answers as far as like little things, but nobody is holding them accountable.
Right.
But we hear all of this. We still got to up Jay-Z. Listen, I think real motherfuckers are beyond that point, or like at the point where start football. Let's see what's going to happen. Let's move on. The conversation is dead, but people continually bring it back up.
Do you think, dude, here's how to say this, Jay-Z, do you think this is just smoke and mirrors, this whole situation? Do you think anything really tangible is really going to come out of this? Or do you think it was just the NFL maybe making a chess move themselves just to, kind of make things die down, get one of the biggest hip hop, stars on board for whatever, because when you get him back, now you get all the people back who was on the fence, or at least some of them back that was on the fence about not dealing with the NFL anymore and not watching it, because let's believe it or not, they're being affected when the ratings go down. And, the ratings are big. We think about just the stadium and the merchandise and say black people don't go, but watching is just as big. Now, do you think that, that particular aspect, the NFL using Jay-Z as a chess piece here, as Jay-Z talking about he's using them as a chess piece?
Oh, that's exactly what I've thought from the jump. And that doesn't mean, like I said, that gives no discredit to Jay-Z. But when you looked at it and we've seen what he was so vocal about in February, only to come back and do this. And now that we're hearing piece by piece by piece, and I can kind of clearly give thought to it, because we weren't getting all of it last week, but we still gave context. It's going to kind of fall right in line with exactly what I'm about to say. I still don't get it. I still give criticism. It's still whatever.
Yeah. And,
I don't think anything's going to happen. No.
Right. And, again, it's a halftime show. We will see, can some great things be done? Maybe with the halftime show, maybe. Will it have a lasting effect? Probably not. Whether it's a commercial or whatever they're going to do, some type of a, theatrical show with Black Panther outfits. I don't know what they're going to do, to get this thing. But what I will do is I'll salute the gesture. I'll salute at least them, talking about it. But obviously that's not going to be enough. We're going to need to see something. Since you want to, since Jay wants to bullet point at all his humanitarian efforts. All right, let's go. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, and still rooting, still want to win, because in no way, shape, or form are we trying to denounce another brother. Are we trying to do show? No. But we have a job to commentate and talk about it, so we're going to talk about it. We don't agree with this one necessarily.
Right.
We want to see what else in regards to the NFL, not everything else, because we see everything else. You tell us about everything else. we ride with you, man. You got $1 billion. You can make $1 billion moves. I'm glad you're putting those tax write-offs in the proper places that can help us. I'm happy about that. In regards to the NFL, I don't really see anything coming out of it. I see it as a chess move, like you said, to kind of calm down a lot of hostility, a lot of money being lost. And we'll see what happens.
But we're not wrong, though. Before we close, we're not wrong for putting people's, deeds on the scales of my yacht. You know what I'm saying? We're not, you know what I'm saying? That's just another word for saying, all right, what have you done in your life? Good. What have you done bad? If your bad shit's outweighing your good, then nigga, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? But if it's just like, if, somehow, like, because when you want to show us all the good that you've done, and somebody say, well, look at all that bad shit you've done. And it's just like people coming out of the street and they done so much bad into the street. Then they want to come have a good life and they get killed. And that person from the past comes back, and people like to say it's karma. I'm not going to say it's karma, but people like to say that it's karma that comes back and gets people like that. So it's like, we got to be able to weigh, and this is what we do with our commentary, the good and the bad. We're still rooting for you, Jay. We want you to win, but we got to say, okay, now Hillary Clinton thing, the this, that, and the third. And okay, let's just be skeptical of this and just, tell the people to beware, because we have had so many quote leaders in the past that have came to scam the people, that have came to fleece the people, that have came to betray the legitimate aspirations of the people. We've had so many leaders like that in the past. So you can't get mad at us, for having one eye open at a rapper, an ex-dope dealer that turned rapper.
Stop looking for leaders. In closing, and for what I have to say, stop looking for fucking leaders. Lead yourself.
Yeah.
Until you can control your paycheck, your own money, your situations, don't look for a goddamn person to lead you. Lead yourself, because your kids is looking at you. Those kids will be looking at you. And that's where a lot of the argument conversation comes, because we put him on the scale of leadership, not you and I,
right.
Us as black people.
Yeah, true.
We put us, okay, is he going to be the next leader? No, he's not leading us well enough. This ain't a fucking election. Lead yourself.
Right.
And the rest
what has everyone done? It's a challenge. Like, what are we doing? I mean, it's cool. We can have the conversation. And again, I'm not saying it's not needed. It's needed because we need to know what's happening. We need to identify the problems in order for us to address it. But after we address it, what are we doing?
All right, so that T.I., played that clip, there on Instagram, and he put, this is what we must acknowledge: broad work and reputation speak for itself and far louder than the presumptuous Twitter rants. What I hate most is that the oppressor takes advantage of opportunities like this to divide us and continue with their operations as usual all too often, and we fall for the shit hook, line, and sinker every time. He puts, I believe in what Kaepernick represents as much as I believe what Hov represents. I ain't going to turn on either of them, us or else. And then, it's a list of Jay-Z's accomplishments. There you can see the Puerto Rico hurricane crisis. Jay provided some planes with Fat Joe, 2 million pounds, it looks like, of supplies, title benefit concert, bail for fathers on Father's Day. They also say that Jay-Z bailed out, people, Ferguson in Baltimore protest, the Sean Bell Trust Fund. It goes on and on and on. Sandman, what do you think about T.I. caping? That says they call it caping, I think. I don't know.
Capping?
I don't know. I don't even know what that shit means, to be honest. But what do you think about T.I.'s Instagram post about Jay-Z? Agree with it? How you feel?
We said this last week.
Late.
And here's the thing, right? Y'all got to do us a favor, because we're getting a lot of responses. I don't know if you noticed it or got on Twitter and little things like that, kind of disagreeing. The people that are pro Jay-Z on this side, saying that it's not fair to criticize Jay-Z before we know. And this is why y'all have to pay attention to the commentary, not just the titles, and not just little things. You got to listen to what's really being said, because no one's criticizing Jay-Z. If anything, these are two brothers right here, Oh God and myself, that have been called dick riders for Jay-Z. Fuck that. That's funny. Because now that we disagree, now all of a sudden we're criticizing this or that. Nah, that's not cool. Gotten 100% nothing but the utmost respect for Jay-Z. I can speak for myself in saying that, in everything that he's done in the rap game, everything that he's been able to do to becoming a billionaire, deserve to be praised in that. But all of that does not cloud my vision in looking at something and going, I don't know about that.
Right.
And like we also said last week, if we did not have positions where we've created businesses on having dialect in this kind of thing, wouldn't give a fuck and probably would never talk about it. But